All right, we're going to look at CSS selectors and continuing on in the HTML and CSS crash course. Selectors are very important, being able to select elements on the page and style them. And we're getting close to the end of this crash course. I think I'll do one more video after this, and then we'll start making some projects with our skills. So the main focus here, CSS basics. We've learned how to, the syntax of CSS. We've learned how to have an external style sheet and link to it from our HTML. And now we're going to look at these different selectors: element, ID, class, grouping, and hover. And there's way more, but these are basic ones that you should be familiar with. Okay. To do that, I've logged into Replit here with my fake student account, and I'm just going to work with my dummy HTML project. So we'll click that and open it up. Okay, and I go to my index.html. Remember, we've got all this stuff here. Let's hit run. And sure, we've got this. Headings. Oh yeah, I made stuff purple. Awesome. Okay, so the style.css is important, right? I'm telling my HTML document, hey, please use this style sheet, style.css, and that exists right here. And inside of here, I can put my style rules. Now, in this case, everything that I've done is an element selector. It says select the body element and tell the body element. And actually, let's pop this open for a second. I'm going to hit F12 or right click and hit it, inspect. And in here, right, we can hover over stuff. This is my body element, right? That's highlighted. And you can see that it had the margin left there. Well, I wish I could keep it highlighted. Maybe I can do this. No. Anyway, the body element, and you can see the heading element. It's got margin on the top and bottom. That's what this color is there, right? Padding is green. We don't have any padding yet on anything. Oh, there's some padding on the left on this list, right, with these li items. Anyway, so these are all the elements. Okay, and what I do is I say, hey, let's select all H2 elements and apply these styles to them. And that's great, but what if I didn't want to? What if I wanted this heading to be purple and this heading to be green? Okay, don't judge me on my styles right now on my color choices. I'm just showing you the skills for now. So what I would need to do for that is I need to have some way to identify this unique paragraph, right? Instead of just selecting all paragraphs or all headings, all H2 headings, right? I want to select individual ones. So to do that, I go back to my index.html, and inside of the opening tag on this H2, I can give it an ID attribute. So ID equals, and then in quotations, we can give it a name. And I'll just call this, what do I want to call this? Head 1. And then down here in this H2, I'll also give this one an ID of head 2. Okay, so that I can uniquely identify each one. Excuse me. Now, one thing to take note of with IDs is that you should only use an ID. So head 1 should only appear once in the document. IDs should be unique. Just like you have a student identification number, and only you have that student ID number, no one else should have your ID number. Same here. Head 1 is the ID number of this element. No other element should have an ID of head 1. Okay, so now that we've got those IDs on there, I can go to my style.css, and instead of doing my element selector, to select an ID, we start by doing the pound sign or the hash, and then the name of the ID. So head 1. And if we run that now, you'll see that that's purple and this one isn't. Okay, just applied the style to that one element. And then I can go here, head 2, color green. And we'll hit run, and that should now apply to that one. Okay, and I'm going to make a little comment here. I'm going to hit Control/, and that's automatically does a CSS comment, which is a /* and //. And I'm going to make a comment here, ID selector. Okay, and let's copy or cut and paste this one up here. And we'll just make a little comment here again, Control/, // and these are element selectors and ID selectors. Okay, cool. So that's nice. We can select individual elements. Now, the other thing is, what if I wanted more things to be purple? right? Or maybe I wanted a different style and I wanted to apply to multiple elements, but not necessarily of all the same type, okay? To do that, we can put elements inside of a class. So we're going to do class selectors. And the same idea here is that I'm going to pick some elements, and let's do this h1. And in the start tag, I'm going to make a class attribute, and we'll give this, we'll call it wow. Okay, and we'll style it up so it looks really fancy. Wow. And maybe this second list item, I say you're gonna come into this class too. Class equals wow. And what else we got? Oh, maybe the span tag. Class equals wow. Okay, a span tag is great for selecting parts of text, right? If I don't want to style the entire paragraph, but I just want to style a part of it, one word or a couple words, just put a span tag around it, and you can select it that way. Okay, so now I've got a couple things in the class wow, this h1, this list item, and this span tag. And now in my CSS, the way that we select a class, or class elements, is we use a period, or a dot. So period, and then the name of the class, wow. And then we do our braces, and let's see what we can do here. Let's start with the color of a vibrant red. Let's go font variant small caps, and I love the little auto completion, right? The smart stuff. It says, hey, it's small caps. That's one of the things you can do. Maybe we want to do font family, everyone's favorite. Do we have Comic Sans? I think I have to put it in quotations, Comic Sans MS. I love how editors hate, like they give me this huge list of, a list of things in here, but they don't have Comic Sans in here. And I think that's because programmers hate Comic Sans. But that's okay. We'll still do it. Comic Sans MS. I think that should work. And maybe font size. Let's make it big. 42 pixels. Okay, let's run this. And we can now see whatever was part of that class, heading 1, list item 2, and omnis, that span tag, all get these styles applied to them. Okay, awesome. Another thing we can do is grouping selectors. So let's say, for example, what do we got here? You know, maybe all of my headings I want to have as a different font. Okay, so I could do something like this. You can say h1, comma, h2. Okay, and just by putting that comma, it basically allows you to select all the h1s, comma, select all the h2s. You can do as many as you want here, comma. You could even say, hey, the ID head1, right? I'm not going to do that, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go font family. I don't know. How about fantasy? Let's see what that comes up with. And I hit run. Apparently that's fantasy. I don't know. So actually, let's do something a little more obvious. Papyrus. That one always stands out. Okay, so this one's papyrus, and this one's papyrus, but the heading 1 was also supposed to be papyrus. Ooh, but it's not. Now, this is actually interesting because this has to do with CSS's cascading style sheets, and sometimes you'll come across the specificity, I never know how to say that, how specific the rules are, and there's like a level of importance or a level of priority almost. So these are just element selectors, and I have told anything with the class wow to have a font family of Comic Sans, which includes that h1. So classes have a higher priority than element selectors. So even though I have this font family Papyrus, it says, oh, this one is more specific, more prioritized, so it's going to do Comic Sans. So let's actually just Control/ to comment that out for now, run it. And now you'll see that this h1, comma, h2 to group them together has worked nicely, right? So for all h1s and h2s. Okay, what else can we do here? Last one was, oh yeah, the cool hover selector. And this is kind of a pseudo selector. That colon on the end is basically you select, let's go p::hover. and that says select all paragraphs and apply these styles when I hover or mouse over. Okay, and we'll just do something simple like a font. Actually, let's go text decoration underline. Okay, so run that, and now whenever I hover over a paragraph, it'll underline. Paragraph. Cool. Okay, and you can do that on any element. I find a very common thing that I do is I'll do that with A tags. Right? Oh, run, I didn't hit run. It's already underlined. So often what I'll do is I'll go on my A tags, I'll say, hey, text decoration none. Oh, why did I have that? Text decoration none. Maybe I'll give it a color of like a nice blue. Right, so now it's a link with no text decoration, but when I hover over it, it kind of gives you that underline. Okay, good stuff. So hopefully that made sense. The key thing here is, right, that CSS is all these different ways to select the elements so you can style them. And then all of these properties, right, I was just playing around with them. You'll get more comfortable with these as we go through the projects that we make together, the code along examples. I'll probably do one more video where I'll look at maybe some of the backgrounds in the box model and show you some common properties that we can use to make some good looking websites. Okay, but the key to this one was all these different selectors here, and I hope that made sense. So take care, and we'll see you in the next video.